you look at them on paper and it may be a mismatch, but I don't think it's going to be that way. You know that Central's got a lot of good athletes. I think it's going to be a good game.
The captains for the two teams are out there. The Central Bobcats have their entire team out there on the hash. The Wildcats are represented by Chris Black along with Jared Carell, Jameel Dye, and Jason Altman. Toss of the coin about to be made. Why don't we send it quickly back to the ATO, Tennessee Cablevision, Channel 12. The ball's on the tee, and this ball game is about to get underway. Central comes in at 2-1. The Wildcats come in at 3-0, and here's the kickoff of the ball game. Granger hits it high. Fielded by Hill at the 3. Now it's picked up by number 24, Calvin Mathis. Up the middle he goes to the 20. Tackled around the 23-yard line, and that's where Central will take over. First down and 10 yards to go.
Well, David, it looks like we've already gotten a break. That, to me, at least from up here, looked like that was a definite face mask. I don't know exactly who was it tackled him, but maybe it was. Maybe he got him around the ear hole or something, but it could have been very dangerous.
Up to the line of scrimmage they'll come. Jonathan Woodward, a 5'10", 150-pound freshman, is the quarterback. And he'll bring his team to the line with receivers to the left and to the right. The man closest to us is Justin Fine. They'll have a slot to the left. Quarterback from the I formation. 1st and 10 from the Central 22. Hand off to the tailback who moves the ball forward across the 25-yard line up to around the 26. Caleb Gaston on the carry. He's tackled by Oak Ridge's Brad Redmond. Be a gain on the play for Central of 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and a long 5 to go for a first down. Just underway. 11:34 to play in the first quarter. A scoreless ball game. Central on their home field tonight. The Wildcats will be on the road again next week at Dobbins-Bennett. Up to the line they'll come, moving from right to left as we look from the home side here. Travis Higgins, the receivers here to the near side. Once again from the I, their quarterback, the freshman hands it off. Ball carrier moves the ball forward. He's kind of tripped up at the line of scrimmage by the Wildcats. He'll gain a couple of yards. He moves the ball close to the 30. They're going to officially put him down as he's kind of slid towards the 29-yard line. Would it be 3rd down at about 4?
Gain of 1.
Clock is ticking down. We're just underway. The opening possession of the ball game. The Wildcats on defense. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. As I mentioned, their quarterback is a freshman, 5'10", 150-pounder. 2 receivers to the far right. The Wildcats with a 4-man front. From the I will come the Wildcats from the 29. Woodward rolling to his right, looking down the field. Cohen wants to pass. There's a man wide open, complete at the 39-yard line. Tackled at the 41. First down, 10 yards to go for the Central Bobcats. Nice crisp pass that time by the freshman Woodward, and it'll be 1st and 10. Justin Fine on the reception for the Bobcats.
You know, you don't really get a chance to see a lot of freshman quarterbacks, especially, I guess any more freshman ball players, period. That time, he just rolls out, sets up, and throws a strike right down the field, picks up his team's first down.
Up to the line, Terry Hill along with Justin Fine as wideouts, and play is halted momentarily. An official's timeout. I don't know if it's a malfunction in the clock. Obviously that is the case. We have a scoreless ball game live here from Central High School, and the official over to talk with the official.
Could have had later.
Finally, play is underway once again. It's Hill and Fine here to the near side as wide receivers. From the I for the Central Bobcats, 1st and 10. Woodward hands it off on the draw. Jameel Dye hits him. Gaddis knocks him down at the 45-yard line. That's Gaston on the carry. He moves the ball to the 45-yard line of Central. Gaston was able to elude the first tackle, and he was able to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, it's a very well executed play that time, David. Just a simple draw where the quarterback goes up, goes straight back like he's going to pass, and then obviously hands off to the running back. I believe it was Jameel Dye, could have hit him in the backfield, kind of the running back spun off of him and picks up 5 more yards after that.
10 minutes to play in the first quarter. 2nd down, 5 yards to go from the Central 45. Woodward will hand it off this time. He's hit and dropped for a big loss in the backfield. Gaston on the carry. It'll be Brad Redmond shooting in just like a bullet to knock his feet out from underneath him, and he'll lose big yardage on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long facing Central.
You have to like the way Brad Redmond plays. Every game he comes to play. Last year he led the team in tackles, and every game this year so far he's done the same thing. Already has a couple of tackles tonight. From sideline to sideline, does a great job, and also coming right at him does a wonderful job. 3rd
down, 11 yards to go. Central once again. 9:18 to play, first quarter. From the I, 2 receivers to the far right as they move from right to left. Woodward rolls to his right, trips and falls. Looking for a pass. Now he's in trouble. Now might run. He's going to be hit and dropped for a loss. Sacked, in fact, for a 2-yard loss. That play had disaster written all over it. He almost tripped and fell on his own, was able to maintain his balance, looked down the field, nobody came open, then elected to run, and actually barely got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down, 11 yards to go. The ball just shy of the Central 40. It'll be 4th down and about 11, and Oak Ridge will send Mike Gibson back to receive the Central punt. 8 minutes, 41 seconds to play, so the Bobcats pick up a 1st down. Wildcats have everybody on the line except Mike Gibson, who's standing back at the 25. Here comes the snap. Here's the punt. High kick. Gibson will field it at the 23 to the 25. Gives ground 30, 35, 40. Up the field he goes to the 45. Flag goes down on the plate. Moves the ball up to the 46-yard line, but it looks like we might have a clip called against the Wildcats. The flag went down around the 38-yard line, and we'll have to check the call.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be a clip, David. I'm not exactly sure who it was, but where the flag was thrown, generally, probably 9 times out of 10 is going to be a clip. And they're talking, it looks like they are talking to the Central players, and it is indeed going to be against Oak Ridge.
The head coach of the Central Bobcats is Joel Hilton. He's assisted by Bible, along with Bob Bruin, Lynn Hill, Doug Hundley, Bruce Logan, Jeff McMillan, Kelly Robertson, and Bob White. Holding is the call instead of clip against the Wildcats, and they'll step the penalty yards off against the Wildcats. Oak Ridge offense has been nothing more than, I guess, magnificent here in the first 3 ball games. The Wildcats have rolled up big numbers, including 42 points last week against a very good Gallatin team. They scored 49 points against Ray County and 36 against Farragut. The big man has been Sean Bohannon, closing in on 600 yards on the season. He picks up big yardage now. He's at the 30 to the 35-yard line. Bohannon picks up about 6 on the play to bring up 2nd down and 4 yards to go.
You know, it's really amazing when you look at this team is averaging was over 400 yards on the ground, which is just absolutely staggering. You know, look at Sean Bohannon's averaging almost right at 200 yards a game. Those are some unbelievable numbers. Sean
has 8 touchdowns on the season. The Wildcats come up with Chad Lucier at quarterback. The fullback is Stan Sisk. Deep in the formation is Sean Bohannon. It's almost a slot for Stan Sisk, and it'll be Lucier to hand it off to Bohannon across the 35 to the 40-yard line. Picks up an Oak Ridge 1st down. Different formation. I don't think they've come out of that formation all season.
I agree, David. I've never seen that before. I've never seen Coach Gaddis run that before. The fullback, Stan Sisk, was actually like in the slot position with the tailback, Sean Bohannon, in his regular spot. So that was definitely a little bit different.
Terry Hill on the stop for the Central Bobcats. 1st down, 10 yards to go from the Oak Ridge 40. Chris Black, the first man to the line. He's the Oak Ridge center. Vel Brock and Mike Gibson as receivers to the far left. The Wildcats moving from left to right. From the straight eye, Lucier under center. 1st down, 10 yards to go from his own 40, and a flag goes down on the play, and the Wildcats will be penalized 5 yards. So Oak Ridge has already been penalized twice here in the first quarter. 1 holding, illegal procedure, the call, this time against Oak Ridge.
Yeah, this time last week, though, there were 2 15-yard penalties instead of a 10-yarder and a 5-yarder.
Oak Ridge, the number 3 ranked team in the state, according to the Associated Press poll. Brentwood Academy and Murfreesboro Riverdale 1 and 2 in the Associated Press poll.
Who?
I agree. Your Riverdale Warriors, I guess. From the eye, Oak Ridge will pitch to Sean Bohannon, looks for a hole, jumps over a man at the 40, tries to cut to the outside, he breaks free at the 45 to the 50 to the 45-yard line, 40, pushed out of bounds at the Central 30-yard line, and beyond that to the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go. Initially, it looked like Sean was not going to get a whole lot of yards at all. He was able to bust to the inside, cut to the outside, and pick up a 1st down inside Central territory at the 28-yard line of the Central Bobcats.
Well, David, of all the runs that Sean Bohannon's had this year, that probably was the most dramatic or exciting. Got through the line of scrimmage maybe 2 or 3 yards back where the linebackers are, and I don't know what he did. He spun out of there, got out of there somehow, and ended up picking up 37 yards. Wonderful run.
6 minutes, 48 seconds to play in the first quarter. From the eye once again. From the 28-yard line, Lucier will pitch to Bohannon. Big hole, 25 to the 20-yard line. Bohannon all the way down to the 17-yard line. Another Oak Ridge 1st down. And then a late flag comes in, and we'll have to check this particular call. Wildcats, I think, might have been hit late that time, although they are backing up. The Wildcats picked up the 1st down. The officials are talking about it at the 17-yard line, continuing to talk about it, and it is a 1st down run. It's going to be a personal foul against Oak Ridge. So there's another 15-yard penalty, and we saw this happen last week against Gallatin, and they did pick up the first down. Then they'll step the 15 yards back. So the Wildcats killing themselves in a close ball game. You just cannot have penalties like that.
Absolutely, and I guess the good thing is maybe they can do all these things, get them out of the way, until the playoffs or something like that. I didn't see what happened. Actually, whatever it was that happened behind the big pile, whatever it was, the referee threw the flag there. It's hard to tell from here, and doesn't look like any of the coaches are too upset, so they may have seen it.
6:39 to play in the first quarter from the 32-yard line of Central. It'll be Oak Ridge with Velbrock here to the near side. Flanker to the left is Mike Gibson from the eye. Lucier will pitch to Bohannon. Bohannon belted in the backfield, loses about 3 yards in the play. He's tackled right at the 35. Looked like his legs actually went out from underneath him. It'll be a loss on the play.
Well, the defensive end on that side, David, came up the field very quickly, and the only thing Sean Bohannon had to do was to cut back real quick. Looks up, then his feet kind of gave out from under him. I think he probably lost about 2 yards on the play. 6
minutes to play in the first quarter of a scoreless ball game. The Wildcats from the eye. Lucier from the Central 35. Stan Sisk, the fullback. Sean Bohannon, the tailback. Lucier, there's movement on the Oak Ridge line. Here's a pass play, intending it for Velbrock. It looked like John Dickens here on the near side jumped. We'll have to check the call. Let's see if he was drawn off sides. They're pointing towards Central, but the official over to give us the official signal to be a legal procedure against Oak Ridge. It looked like John Dickens just moved just slightly. That constitutes another penalty for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they've already got, our statistician Mark Hayes already said there's 35 yards of penalty. This is Oak Ridge's first drive, which is not a very good start.
It'll be second down, 32 yards to go for a first. The Wildcats split out 3 receivers this time. Jason McCadley here to the near side from the 41-yard line. It's Brock and Gibson. Here's the pass, incomplete. Pass was intended for Mike Gibson. The pass was low and into the ground. It'll be for the Wildcats. Third down, 32 yards to go. The ball at the 40-yard line. The Wildcats have penetrated deep, picking up a first down, but now they need to get all the way inside the 10-yard line for a first down. They need to get to the 8. It'll be third down, 32 yards to go. Up to the line will come the Wildcats. Velbrock to the far left. Mike Gibson here to the near side. Third down, 32 yards to go from the Central 41-yard line. And here is a misplay, and another flag goes down. In fact, flags all over the field, as the public address announcer says. We're going to have another 5-yarder against Oak Ridge, as the Wildcats are backing up yet another time. Illegal procedure, so now it'll be third down and 37 yards to go.
Unbelievable, David. I don't know what happened then. Everybody moved except it looked like the center just kind of stayed there. I don't know if where the mix-up was. If everybody thought that the snap count was on something and center did, it was a little bit different. I don't know.
Once again, receivers left and right. Third down, 37 yards to go from the eye. Chad will pass. Dumps it over to Mike Gibson, who cuts across the field to the 40. Cuts inside 30. Breaks to the 25. Down to the 23-yard line. It'll be short of a first down by about 12 or 13 yards. The Wildcats are going to send Granger Marler into the ball game to attempt what would be a long field goal. The Wildcats and Central Bobcats scoreless ball game, 5:13 to play. Granger will put the tee down, let's see, at around the, looks like the 30-yard line, making this a 40-yard field goal attempt. Granger to attempt, Lucier to hold. The ball is down. Here's the hold, here's the kick, it's up. Granger hits it long and straight, it's up, and it is good. Big 3-point field goal, 40-yard field goal by Granger Marler. And with 4:53 to play in the first quarter, Oak Ridge takes the lead 3-0, and we'll be back in strength of a 40-yard field goal by Granger Marler. And I have to compete with the PA man here as the kick is a line drive short, fielded at the 30. To the 35. The man is tackled at around the 37-yard line, and that's where Central will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. We mentioned during the break, Granger got all of that one. 40-yard field goal.
Well, he really did. I mean, that thing was good from a long way out. It also really has to do a lot for his confidence. I know a couple weeks, I think he missed, one last week and an extra point, so I'm sure that does a lot for his psyche.
From the 37-yard line, here come the Central Bobcats up to the line. The Wildcats on defense for the second time. On their first drive, Central was able to pick up a first down on a pass play and then went no place. 2 receivers here to the near side. Woodward will pitch to his tailback, who tries to get around the end, moves the ball across the 40 to the 43-yard line. That's Gaston once again on the carry for the Central Bobcats. 4 minutes, 35 seconds to play in the first quarter. Jason Altman there for the stop for the Wildcats. 3-0 Oak Ridge on top.
5, second, 5.
Oak Ridge is trying to knock off Central for the 8th consecutive time. Oak Ridge leads the series, 21 wins, 10 defeats, and 3 ties. Second down, 5 yards to go. Actually, it's a long 4 for a first for the Bobcats. 2 receivers here to the near side. 4-man front for Oak Ridge. Woodward will drop back to pass. Rolling to his left across the way. The pass is incomplete. Mike Gibson defending. It was intended for Justin Fine. A little bit overthrown. It'll be third down and about 4.5 yards to go for a first.
Well, it really looks like they're coming out and attacking with some passes. That time they just ran a little sprint rollout. The split end just did a long deep out and kind of misfired on a little bit, led him just a little bit too much. But you know, as being a freshman quarterback, they're definitely not shying away from throwing the ball.
Clock is stopped at 4:04 to play in the first quarter. 3-0 Oak Ridge. Single running back, 2 receivers in a slot here to the near side. Up to the line they'll come. Third down and 4. Woodward will roll once again back to pass. He's in trouble. He's sacked at the 30-yard line. The Wildcats all over him. Wildcats quickly came in there with Tommy Johnston. And the Wildcats drop him for a big loss all the way back to the 32-yard line. It'll be fourth down again facing the Central Bobcats. And Oak Ridge will get the punt once again. 11-yard loss on the sack for the Oak Ridge defense. And they'll punt the ball away once again. Mike Gibson standing back at the 35-yard line. Oak Ridge on top, 3-0.
Central's Jeremy Kerr.
He does more play-by-play than I do, Scott.
I'm not quite used to this guy.
It'll be punt formation once again for the Central Bobcats. Jeremy Kerr, he's the punter. Good snap. Here comes a lot of pressure. Kick is away. Wobbly kick will bounce at the 35-yard line, take an Oak Ridge bounce up the field, and will be downed at the 37-yard line, and that's where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. Lee Younger got a lot of pressure in on the punter. He got the punt off. It'll be Oak Ridge's offense back out on the field. The first drive was really too many penalties. The Wildcats settled for a 40-yard field goal by Granger Marler. Let's see what they can do on this drive. They'll start it at their own 37-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go.
Oak Ridge has already been penalized for 35 yards on their first series, which is awful.
Mike Gibson and Velbrock here to the near side as receivers from the Oak Ridge. Lucier from the 37 will pitch to Sean Bohannon. Gets a big block. Bohannon to the 40, to the 42-yard line. That's where he is tackled. It'll be for the Wildcats. Second down and about, we'll call it 7 yards, maybe 6 yards. He brings the ball to the 42-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be second down, 5 yards to go. 2 minutes, 48 seconds to play. We're in the first quarter of this non-regional ball game. Next week we'll be on the road again at Kingsport Dobbins-Bennett as the Wildcats take on the Indians in another non-regional game. 2 receivers, Velbrock and Mike Gibson to the far left. The Wildcats moving from left to right, leading 3-0. Pitch will Sean Bohannon, 45-50 to the 45. Bohannon 40, fumbles the ball. It's going to be picked up by Jason McCallie on the run. He'll pick it up and score. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Sean Bohannon fumbled it. Jason McCallie saw the ball kick up the field. He was able to pick it up on the clean bounce, picked it up and rumbles in about 35 yards for the touchdown, and Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 9-0.
Well, that's a very interesting play. Sean Bohannon got the ball and just exploded up the field. Looked like he was going to break free. I think the free safety finally kind of drug him down, and as he did, it looked like the ball hit off his knee pad and bounced another 10 or 15 yards down the field. Jason McCallie was
Miller, who already has hit a 40-yard field goal, will be attempting the extra point. 9-0 Oak Ridge, 2:19 to play in the first quarter, and Granger will attempt the extra point. Jason McCallie, a fumble return, high snap. Here comes lots of pressure. Here's the kick. It's up and good. With time on the field, our score, 2:19 to play first half. It's 10-0 Oak Ridge, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Oak Ridge, 25, Terry Hill. Again, deep for the Bobcats.
Back here at Central High School, the Oak Ridge Wildcats on top by a score of 10-0, and Granger Marler once again will kick off to the Bobcats. Back to receive the kick, Terry Hill. Here's the kick. This time Granger hits it long and deep at the 1 yard line. Brings it out to the 5, to the 10, 15, 20. Crunch! He is knocked. He elected to go airborne and then got nailed at the 19-yard line, and that's where Central will take over. First down, 10 yards to go.
Well, David, he jumped over one guy, and about the time he jumped over this guy, Brad Redmond just levels him. Wonderful tackle. I thought in high school football, David, that you could not you couldn't return the ball if it went into the end zone. He was clearly stepping in the end zone.
The ball can't go into the end zone.
Enough said.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Bobcats at the 19. They'll come with a full house backfield, a single receiver here to the near side. Woodward hands it off to number 22, tries to get around the outside. He is going to be dropped for a loss. Wildcats, Brad Redmond all over him once again. Caleb Gaston seemed like some kind of a mix-up, or perhaps in the backfield, because Gaston didn't seem to really be on the same page with the quarterback, and he loses yardage.
Yeah, I believe one of the running backs, it was a full house backfield, like you said. It may have been a power eye, and one of the running backs went the wrong way, or it may even been the quarterback, but that was a very ugly play, and I can't believe that they didn't lose any yards on that. They've got the ball 2nd and 10.
A minute 40 to play in the first quarter. Oak Ridge on top, 10-0. 2 receivers here to the near side. From the eye, once again, Woodward, their freshman quarterback, brings them up from the 18. He'll hand it off on the draw. The ball carrier moves the ball across the 20. Tackled by Jameel Dye at the 25-yard line. It'll be third down and about 5 yards to go for a first. While I have the opportunity, Scott, I want to say hello to Matt McMahon, who's listening back at home today. Had his wisdom teeth taken out along with his brother Kevin. Matt unable to go to the ball game tonight. I guess his father, a doctoring man, is on the sidelines, but Matt unable to come to the ball game tonight.
Can a orthopedic surgeon take out wisdom teeth?
Well, it probably would be a little cheaper that way, but I doubt Matt would want his dad to do that. I would have done it for him. Third down, 5 yards to go from the 25-yard line. From the eye, 2 receivers to the right. Woodward hands it off once again, and once again the Wildcats put a big lick on the ball carrier. He'll lose about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Nice play once again by Oak Ridge. I think it was Joe Sterner who had one big lick along with Tommy Johnston. It'll be fourth down again. And the Central Bobcats will punt the ball away. 27.5 seconds to play. Oak Ridge on top by a score of 10-0. Mike Gibson standing back at around his own 45-yard line. It'll be Jeremy Kerr to punt the ball away. 15 seconds to play. Here comes Younger once again. The Wildcats nearly got the punter. Little contact, just an acting job. It's going to take a bounce at around the 40-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. 10-0 Oak Ridge, 3.5 seconds to play. A new rule in high school football this year: the clock does not start until the snap of the ball after a change of possession on a kick. So that's a new rule in high school this year. That's why normally the quarter would come to a close as soon as they put the ball down, but instead it'll be first down, 10 yards to go from the 45. I was checking just in case.
That's what I thought.
I was hoping I was right there. Up to the line will come the Wildcats. First and 10 at the 45. It never hurts to be safe and check the clock. I formation, Chad Lucier under center, and he'll hand it to Stan Sisk. Sisk is hit at the line of scrimmage, goes no place, but the quarter has come to a close. Oak Ridge has put 10 points on the board. We go to the second quarter here at Central High School. 103 yards after 1 quarter of football. 7 carries. Lucier will pass. Here's the pass down to Jason McCanley. Pass is, it's incomplete. Flags are down. They're going to call offensive pass interference, I think, because I think Jason McCanley had to go through his defender to get to the ball, and the defender was Tavares Higgins. We'll have to check that penalty. The official comes over and says pass interference against Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge doesn't like the call, as you can probably tell by the Oak Ridge fans down below. Interesting call that goes against the Wildcats. It'll be, let's see, for the Wildcats, a loss of down, and they'll bring the ball back to the 30-yard line. We're getting killed on penalties.
Well, that was a horrible call, if you ask me. There was contact, yes, but it was very, very, very incidental. It didn't change anybody's footing. It was just barely. I mean, that's awful. That's a horrible call, David.
55 yards in penalties already for the Wildcats in the first half. Receivers left and right. Lucier from his own 30. Back to pass. Rolling to his right. Dumps it over to Mike Gibson, who can't control the ball. It's going to be an incomplete pass. Second down and 25 yards to go. 11:50 to play in the first half. Thanks for tuning us in on AM 1290 WATO.
Well, and this brings on the punting unit for Oak Ridge for only the third time. I was thinking it was third down, but obviously it's 4th and 25, as Jason Altman will be punting for Oak Ridge on a 4th and 25.
Yeah, I had forgotten the loss and down after I had said it before. That's the kind of memory I have. Oak Ridge to punt. Jason Altman, his first punt of the night. End over end kick will be fielded. No, it will not be fielded. He lets it roll inside the 20-yard line. Will roll dead all the way at the 15-yard line. Poor decision that time by Terry Hill. He's only a sophomore, 5'9", 175-pounder. Let the ball hit the ground, and it went about 15 to 20 yards on the ground. Good punt in yards for Jason Altman. And Coach Joel Helton says that this sophomore class for the Central Bobcats is almost as good or rivals the sophomore class or the class of Todd Helton. That's saying quite a bit. And if that's the case, we're going to see some pretty good Central teams in the next few years. Central's offense back out on the field. Penalties really hurting the Wildcats. First down, 10 yards to go for the Bobcats at the 15-yard line. They'll come with a slot to the left. From the eye, they'll come once again. Woodward at quarterback from the 15. Quarterback hands it off once again for about 2 or 3 yards. Caleb Gaston carries the ball before he is knocked down by Oak Ridge's Redmond, Brock, and Altman. It'll be, let's see, it'll be a gain of only 2. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go. I don't see Chad Lucier down there, but I think I saw Jason Altman. I think he was reading, the PA announcer was reading 30, and I saw 31. But so anytime I can blast him, because he's blasting my eardrums, I'm going to do it here. It'll be second down and about 8 yards to go. 11:33 to play first half, 10-0 Oak Ridge on top. 2 receivers to the far left. Second down, a long 7 to go for a first. Woodward under center. Will hand it off once again to Gaston. He's hit and dropped at the 17-yard line. No gain at all. Wildcats got a lot of penetration on the right side. Looked like Brad Redmond once again there for the stop.
I was getting ready to say, I think Brad Redmond has been in on every single tackle so far. He's been everywhere. He does a great job every game. You really like the way Brad Redmond plays.
He was the leading tackler a year ago, and he's well in front of the pack already here in 96. Third down, 9 yards to go. The ball at the 17-yard line. Once again, it'll be Justin Fine drifting off to the left side along with number 25, Terry Hill. From the eye, once again, Jonathan Woodward. He'll roll to his left, looking to pass. Across the middle, the pass is incomplete. Little contact down there, but no flag. And Oak Ridge is going to get the ball back, and dropping back to receive the kick will go Mike Gibson. So Central sputters once again on this offensive possession, and Mike will be standing back around his own 40, around the Central 45-yard line.
The last 3 possessions that Central's had the ball, they have run the ball 3 plays and out. The Oak Ridge defense doing a well of a job.
They'll be punting from deep in their own territory. In fact, he'll be standing inside the 10-yard line. Jeremy Kerr will punt from his own 5. Mike standing back at the 50-yard line. High snap. Here comes a lot of pressure. It's blocked. Blocked by Oak Ridge. And it'll roll around the 15-yard line. Recovered by Oak Ridge's Tyler Harris, and then fumbled right at the sideline, but Oak Ridge is going to maintain possession. I don't know who got in there first, but it was blocked by Bill Pendergrass, I do believe. The Wildcats will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 15-yard line. At the 13-yard line, and Mark so quickly corrects me. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go at the 13.
Well, on the last 2 or 3 times that this guy's punted, he's had pressure both from his right side and his left side. That time they came up right up the gut. There's no way, as soon as he got the ball, it was a little high snap, but it wasn't really high. He didn't have to jump or anything. Pendergrass was in there to block the kick. Good hustle.
10:39 to play in the first half. 10-0 Oak Ridge. Quarterback is Mike Ray. He'll pitch to Sean Bohannon. Sean Bohannon at the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Interesting to see Mike Ray in the ball game in the first half, taking over for Chad Lucier. Looking along the sideline, obviously they just elected to go with the new quarterback. Ray and his team with a second down and 5. The ball at the 9-yard line. 10 minutes, 17 seconds and counting in the first half. Live from Central High School on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. 2 receivers here to the near side, Bell Brock and Mike Gibson. Oak Ridge with a single running back. That'll be Bohannon. A slot to the left is the fullback, Stan Sisk. Ray will pitch to Bohannon. Here's the reverse to Mike Gibson. Gibson cuts inside. No place to go. In fact, he'll lose about a yard or two on the play. It'll bring up third down and about 5 yards to go. Central did a good job on that particular play. It'll be third down and about 8.
Yeah, they really did, David. That's the play, of course, that last week that Oak Ridge ran 6 or 7 times, and each time Gibson had huge yards. I believe he ended up with about 167 yards in the game. That time, first time they run it, they lost 2.
Shane Wiseman comes out of the game now for the Wildcats as Mike Ray brings his team up. Third down, 8 yards to go. Mike Gibson split out here to the near left. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Bohannon gets a big hole. Bohannon to the outside. Bohannon at the 5. Moves the ball to that point. Shy of the first down by about 2 yards. The Wildcats will have it fourth down and about 2 yards to go, leading 10-0 here in the first half. 9 minutes to play, and Oak Ridge is going to signal for the extra point, the field goal unit to come onto the game and onto the field. I do believe that is not the case. They'll go for the first down with Mike Gibson at quarterback. Gibson under center for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge will get Travis Crowley in the ball game as well. He'll be the new fullback. We're in there. He's a fullback, but he's not the fullback. Bohannon gets the call, gets a block from Sisk, picks up the first down as he brings the ball inside the 5-yard line, tackled it at the 3. Kind of interesting that time. The Wildcats had Travis Crowley in the ball game along with Stan Sisk. Some big blockers for Sean Bohannon. It'll be first down, goal to go for the Wildcats. The ball at the Central 3-yard line.
Well, it's really interesting the fact that Oak Ridge has already used 3 quarterbacks in this game, David.
Indeed it is. 8:28 to play. First half, it's already 10-0 Oak Ridge. The ball's at the 3. It'll be first down, goal to go. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Wildcats with Mike Ray. No, it's still Mike Gibson at quarterback. From the eye once again, from the 3-yard line. And Mike Gibson hands it off to Stan Sisk, who scores. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Stan Sisk, the fullback for the Wildcats, takes it across from 3 yards out, and Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 16-0 here in the second quarter. Exactly 8:07 to play, and into the game to attempt the extra point will come the senior place kicker, Granger Marler. Granger, a 6-foot, 170-pound senior, basically the starting kicker since his sophomore year, as was his brother a number of years ago, McKeever Marler. Lusher to hold, big pressure, the kick is up, it's up, and it is no good, off to the right side. Big penetration again by Central. Oak Ridge on top, 6. Tell him that, you know, what did he think it was?
Terry Hill at the goal line for the Bobcats.
Back here at Central High School, Oak Ridge to kick off, and we'll continue to compete with the public address speakers, which are basically mounted in the press box here. 8:07 to play. 16-0 Oak Ridge. Here's a knuckleball kick by Granger. It's picked up and fumbled by Central at the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Up to around the 32-yard line. Terry Hill carries the ball. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the Central Bobcats. What we need, Scott, is some properly placed wire cutters on the PA speakers. Why don't we do that at halftime?
We'll have to do that. I know we've got this great big toolbox out here, which actually we really could have used last week at Gallatin. If anybody doesn't know, we had some car problems on the way home, and ended up we did the MacGyver act of an extension cord and some duct tape to fix it.
What happened, it wasn't the engine, it was actually the running boards. As soon as we started to leave Gallatin High School last year, the running board on the passenger side, it wasn't my great weight on the driver's side that dropped the running board to the ground there in the parking lot. We almost didn't get out of there. It was indeed a good job, though. We have to, Brett Kennedy did most of it. We should thank him.
Yeah, he really did.
Up to the line will come Central. First down, 10 yards to go from the 32-yard line. 2 receivers to the left. Let's see. Quarterback hands it off straight up the middle to number 22, Caleb Gaston, 5'10", 170-pounder. Brings the ball to around the 36-yard line, gain of 5. It'll bring up second down, 5 yards to go. Once again, Brad Redmond, Chris Hood there for the stop. I see Rocky Remine down there. He isn't even dressed out for the ball game. I do see him in basically his jersey and non-football pants, so obviously he will not get into the game at all tonight. It'll be, let's see, Justin Fine to the far left, Hill to the right as they move from left to right. Handoff goes for about a yard, not much more than that. That's Gaston and he's going to be the workhorse here. I don't know how many carries already he has in the ball game, but quite a few. Mark says his 12th carry here in the first half. 7:10 to play, 16-0. Oak Ridge on top. This is a non-regional ball game. It'll be 3rd down, 5 yards to go for the Central Bobcats, and now they're going to call a timeout. Let's take one ourselves. We'll send it back to Nathan Forge. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
It's 3rd and 5.
Wee-wee in my pants.
What's that?
Timeout.
Initial drive, haven't picked up one since. They'll send 3 receivers in the pattern, 2 to the far left. Up to the line, shotgun formation for their quarterback, who I think might be Justin Fine now. He drops back to pass, feeling some pressure, throws the ball up for grabs. Pass is going to be incomplete. No flags down on the play, but there is a flag up here at around the 25-yard line. We might have a late hit on the Oak Ridge quarterback. No, it's going to be a face mask on Oak Ridge. Face mask on the Wildcats, and that'll give them a 1st down. Lots of penalties already. Another personal foul against the Wildcats. Face mask against Oak Ridge. 6 minutes, 53 seconds to play. We're in the first half of this game. 16-0. Central trailing the Oak Ridge Wildcats, and the penalty will give, indeed, the Bobcats a 1st down.
That's got to be close to 100 yards of penalties in the first quarter and a half so far, David.
Unbelievable amount. And luckily, the Wildcats do have the lead, and Central hasn't really been able to move the ball. They do walk the ball inside Oak Ridge territory to the 47-yard line, between the 48 and the 47. Central moving from left to right, wearing their black jerseys, all black pants, white numerals. The Wildcats in white jerseys, cardinal numerals and cardinal pants. Once again, they'll come from the I. Jonathan Woodward back at quarterback. From the I, might have been there before anyway. Hands it off to big number 35. That'll be Anthony Bowman, who moves the ball forward for really no gain at all. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The right side of the Oak Ridge line. Bill Pendergrass, Chris Hood, Jameel Dye, all around the tackle. Brad Redmond, I'm sure, was close to it. It'll be 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down, 9 yards to go. 6:29 to play and counting here in the first half. 16-0 Oak Ridge on top. The Wildcats have a touchdown from Stan Sisk, a field goal from Granger Marler, and the other score, a Sean Bohannon touchdown run. Once again, they'll come to the line, 2nd down and 9. Quarterback hands it off to number 25 on the reverse, tries to get outside, and does. Around the 40, he was hit hard. Terry Hill carries to the 39-yard line. He's still shy of the 1st down by about 2 or 3 yards. Jason Allman hit him first, and then a couple other Wildcats. Jameel Dye, looks like Gaddis out there, Velbrock and company. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 yards to go for a 1st.
You know, they came out with that slot reverse that time to Hill, and he had a lot of running room on toward their sideline on the other end of the field. Looked like he could have had the 1st down if he had kept running. He actually stopped to try to cut back, got leveled, and now it breaks up a big 3rd down for them, 3rd and 1.
Up to the line they'll come. Quarterback Woodward under center, and he'll pitch to Gaston. Gaston gets the 1st down and more as he brings the ball across the 35 to the 34-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. That's their 2nd 1st down other than a penalty. They have 3, I think, total in the ball game, but that's their 1st one. Their 1st on a rushing play. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 34-yard line.
1st down. It's 1st and 10.
You know what I need to do, Scott, is just be quiet and let him do the...
We can just turn our microphones around the other way and just, yeah, take the night off, David.
2 receivers here to the near side. 1st and 10. Bowman and Gaston. And Gaston is hit and dropped for a big loss. The Wildcats all over him. Back at the 36-yard line. Dye, Pendergrass, Redmond for the stop for the Wildcats. It'll be a loss on the play of about 2, maybe even 3. It'll be 2nd down, 13 yards to go. 4 minutes, 45 seconds to play. Here in the first half, it's 16-0 Oak Ridge. We'll have scores of other ball games at halftime. We'll also have a scoring summary. We'll have Mark Hayes statistics. And we might have take a listen to the Oak Ridge High School band that are back with us here once again. Single running back is Bowman. Woodward dropping back to pass. Here it is, up for grabs, should be picked off. It's going to be flags down. I think this one could be offensive pass interference against them. Terry Hill seemed like he was all over the back of Oak Ridge's Mike Gibson, but we'll just have to check the call. The Wildcats have been penalized so much, you'd have to feel it'll be against Oak Ridge.
We are in Knoxville, David.
That's very, very true. The official over to tell us officially that it's going to be against Oak Ridge. And Oak Ridge fans don't like it once again. I'm looking down at the field here, and I'm looking at our coaching staff, and I don't think Coach Younger has his hat on as I look in there, but you know, Oak Ridgers cannot believe it. Coach Gaddis doesn't like the call. It looked like the intended receiver, Hill, was all over the back of Mike Gibson.
You know, it's really hard to tell from up here, but yeah, I mean, it looks like it looks like I almost tackled him, kind of drug him down from behind. But you know, like I said, we're a long way away from it. And you know, evidently it's a good call. Who knows?
4 minutes, 17 seconds to go. Either way, they're moving the ball down the field. They're at the 20. The pitch will go to the tailback who cuts inside. 15, cuts to the outside. 10, Joe Gaddis knocks him down along with Mike Gibson at the 11. It'll be a first down for the Central Bobcats. And I tell you, that guy is hard to keep your train of thought. He is so loud coming in here.
He really is. That time the running back he actually did an S. He started off on the far left side of the field, came all the way across. Talking about not running north and south, he ended up going east and west for sure. It looked like he ran about 100 yards, but only picked up about 9.
16-0 Oak Ridge on top. Indeed, I think they're going to bring the chains onto the field. The Wildcats and the Bobcats are ready to go with the play. They were going to initially say bring the chains in. Now they're making a decision not to bring the chains in. So obviously, it was short by about a yard. The ball's at the 11-yard line. Second down and a yard to go. Mark says we have been penalized 85 yards in the first half. Just unbelievable totals for the penalty yardage against Oak Ridge. And they haven't been the little 5-yarders. Most of them have been 15 or 10-yard penalties. As up to the line once again will come Jonathan Woodard once again. The freshman quarterback from the 11-yard line. 3:53 to play, 16-0. Oak Ridge on top of Central, driving from the eye. They'll come. 2 receivers to the left. Here's the pitch to Gaston. Big hole. Has the first down as he brings the ball across the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Brad Redmond there for the stop.
But David, you really look at a huge hole there, and then all of a sudden Brad Redmond comes from his outside linebacker position to make a really good open field tackle. Brings up 1st and 8 from the 8-yard line.
3 minutes, 35 seconds to play in the first half. 16-0. Oak Ridge on top. Oak Ridge trying to go for 4-0 on the year. Central trying to go to 3-1. 2 receivers to the far left. Once again, that's Justin Fine along with Terry Hill. Woodard under center from the 8-yard line. He'll roll to his right, hand it off to his tailback, who's at the 5, and tackled at that point by Oak Ridge. He stays in bounds, driven out of bounds by Jason Altman, Jamil Dye, and Brad Redmond. 3:08 to play and counting. It'll be second down, goal to go at the 5-yard line.
Second.
I believe they should have stopped the clock when the ball goes out of bounds, right, David?
He said keep the clock going, so obviously he stayed in bounds. I was watching the official on the sideline there. Central shuttling players in and out. Woodward, in fact, over to the sideline, has the play from Coach Joel Helton. The ball's at the 5. Second down, goal to go for the Bobcats. Moving from left to right as we look down at Central, and they'll call a timeout. 2:37 to play. First yard line from the eye, they'll come. Quarterback is Jonathan Woodard as he's under center. The tailback is Gaston. The fullback is Bowman. 2 receivers here to the near side. Second down, goal to go from the 5. Woodard will pitch to the tailback. Gaston, who's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Joe Gaddis Jr. came in like a bullet, almost cut his feet out from underneath him. Then he tripped up, and Jamil Dye finished him off right at the 5.
Really did have some kind of a stun or a blitz or whatever you want to call it there. Joe Gaddis comes in, just shoots up the field and caused him to dramatically change his direction that the running back was going. And by the time he did that, it looked like there was some support from the inside. It was a very nice play.
2 minutes, 7 seconds to play. First half, 16-0. Oak Ridge on top. It'll be third down, goal to go at the 5-yard line. 2 receivers here to the near side, Higgins and Hill. From the eye once again, now flags are down on the play. We're going to have delay a game against the Central Bobcats. So that'll cost them 5. And listen to the sarcastic applause and a standing ovation for the officials down there who finally give Oak Ridge actually Central a call. They'll cost them 5. It'll be 3rd down, goal to go at the 10.
Well, it's 85 yards penalties for Oak Ridge and 5 for Central now, and that's kind of a no-brainer. It's you know, too much time. It's kind of easy to call that one.
Ball's at the 10, 3rd down, goal to go. 1:54 to play. 16-0 Oak Ridge. 2 receivers here to the near side, Hill and Higgins. Up to the line, Woodard, their quarterback, from the 10. Will roll to his right. He's in trouble. He throws the ball in the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Nearly a great catch in the end zone. Nearly a sack back here at the 20. He almost made the play of his life down there in the end zone. Terry Hill went up for it. I thought he snagged it. When he came down, obviously didn't have possession. It'll be 4th down, goal to go.
Well, if he would have caught that, it would have definitely been one of the best catches I've ever seen. He jumped way up in the air, got us
down and goal to go. Quarterback Woodard under center. Big 4th down and goal play for them. He'll drop back to pass, looking for a pass. Might run. He's in trouble. Dumps it in the end zone. There's the man. Here's the pass. Incomplete. No flags. Oak Ridge takes over. 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 10-yard line. And here comes Mike Ray once again onto the field at quarterback for the Wildcats. And I agree with you. I do not see number 30 down there. Chad Lucier. And hopefully we can get Phil or somebody to give us a report on exactly the status of the starting quarterback, Chad Lucier. But Mike Ray's in there for the Wildcats, and he'll start this drive at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's really interesting, you know, and all of a sudden Mike Ray comes in a situation like this. You know, I didn't see Chad get hit or anything hard, so we'll have to get a report on this and get back to everybody.
Up to the line of scrimmage once again will come Oak Ridge. Ray will pitch to Sean Bohannon. Bohannon at the 10, Bohannon at the 12, Bohannon to the 13-yard line. Not a lot of time, 1:32 to play in the first half. 16-0 Oak Ridge on top. The Wildcats have kept the Bobcats shut out. A 4th down and goal play, really a big penalty against them. Hurt them. That delay of game really cost them as Oak Ridge quickly comes to the line. Mike Ray under center, Sisk and Bohannon, 2nd down, 7. And here's Ray wanting to pass. Down the man, there's McCadley. He makes the catch at the 40, to the 45, 50, 40, 35, 25, 20, 15-yard line, 10. Jason McCadley, touchdown Oak Ridge. McCadley takes it on a throw from Mike Ray. 87 yards with approximately 59.4 seconds to play, and Oak Ridge leads 22-0.
Absolutely a wonderful throw that time by Mike Ray. David, he just takes about 3 steps and just unleashes it down the field. A beautiful spiral and leads Jason McCadley just perfect. Jason McCadley gets the ball. You know, he probably catches about the 40-yard line and just outruns the free safety to the end zone. Wonderful, wonderful throw. Nice catch. 6 points at a big play.
Into the game for the Wildcats will come the extra point unit. 22-0. 59.4 seconds to play, and that's one of the longest pass receptions in Oak Ridge history, and I'll check the record books. No, Mark, that's your responsibility. The Wildcats will go for 2 here. Sean Bohannon, the tailback, Stan Sis, the fullback, Mike Gibson under center. Here's Gibson rolling to his right, looking in the end zone. He'll pass. There's the man. 2-point conversion. Good. Nice pass from Mike Gibson to Jason McCadley. Give him 8 points on that particular play. And Oak Ridge leads 24-0. 50.
It's slant. Going this way?
Yes, it was.
Just ask us here.
You were responsible for this.
Parler kicking off the Wildcats. Under a minute to play in the half.
Back here at Central High School, it'll be Granger Marler to kick off for Oak Ridge. Here it is, a high little short kick. Will be bouncing at the 15, picked up by Hill, I believe, at that point, to the 25, and a big tackle at the 27-yard line. Incidentally, looking at the all-time records for Oak Ridge High School, that is the 3rd longest reception in Oak Ridge High School history. Actually ties Blake Anderson, who had an 87-yard reception in 1986 against Knox Central on this field back in 1986. The longest, a 95-yard reception. Gary Butner against Kingsport in 1966. The second longest, an 88-yard one, Bill Grubb against Isaac Litton in 1952. And this reception to Jason McCallie, the third longest in Oak Ridge High School history. First down, 10 yards to go for the Central Bobcats. Dropping back to pass. Here's the pass across the way, incomplete. Nice defensive play by, I think, Vel Brock. The pass was right on the money to the intended receiver, Justin Fine, but Vel Brock breaks it up. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. 47.4 seconds to play at halftime. Mark Hayes will have his statistics. We'll also have scores of other ball games. Oak Ridge on top 24-0 in this non-regional ball game. The Wildcats have rolled up big offensive numbers all season long, and they're continuing to do it here tonight, and they're also posting a shutout. Woodard will hand it off on the draw. The running back waits for the players to clear. He trips and falls at the 40. Does pick up a first down, though. Nice play for them as they're ticking it on down to 38 seconds to play. What an outstanding throw that time from Mike Ray to Jason McCallie, the third longest in Oak Ridge High School history. And it'll be for the Central Bobcats. First down, 10 yards to go at the 40-yard line from the eye. Two receivers here to the near side. Four-man front for the Wildcats, and Woodard will just throw the ball down and stop the clock. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. The clock is stopped now, 34.6 seconds to play in the first half. Let's take a quick timeout. Well, actually, we'll hold it here. It was not really long enough for him to take a 30. We'll have scores of other ball games, as we mentioned. Third longest reception. You didn't hear that, Scott. Third longest in Oak Ridge history. Up to the line will come the Bobcats. Where did you go, incidentally? Oh, this is Central. I should have figured it out. First down, 10 yards to go. Inside, Watto joke. Handoff goes for Gaston at the 50. Cuts across the field and tackled at the 49-yard line by Oak Ridge's Mike Gibson. He does pick up a first down. Nice open field tackle by Mike. 24.6 seconds to play. Oak Ridge on top, 24-0.
This guy would do a whole lot better if he were to run north and south. He goes to end up drives too much east and west as the quarterback spikes the ball to stop the clock.
20.6 seconds to play. Central had driven all the way to the 5-yard line. Then a delay of game penalty hurt them and actually cost them a chance to get on the scoreboard. They're at the 49-yard line now of Oak Ridge. Second down, 10 yards to go. 20.6 seconds to play. Central moving from left to right, trailing Oak Ridge 24-0. I'll have a scoring summary at halftime. We'll also have Mark's statistics. Single running back. Woodard drops back to pass. Across the middle, pass intercepted and dropped. The Wildcats' Brad Redmond almost continued his great defensive play. Almost made a great defensive play. Out of his fingertips it goes. It'll be third down, 10 yards to go.
Well, once again, you call Brad Redmond's name out, and he's been in on every single tackle. That time he jumped up. The receiver come running a fairly shallow post coming out of his linebacker position. Brad Redmond jumps up and very nearly intercepts the ball.
14.4 seconds to play. The first half, the Wildcats, we can't say they have looked as good as they have in any of the previous first halves, but they do lead 24-0. Shotgun formation for Woodard once again. Third down and 10. Here comes some holding, no call. Here's the pass, up for grabs. Vel Brock should pick it off, and he does, and he's blasted. It's incomplete. Wasn't able to hold on to it. It'll be fourth down, 10, 5.5 seconds to play. The pass was just up for grabs, and Vel went up for it and got blasted for his effort. It'll be fourth and 10. 5.5 seconds to play. I saw some holding as well, Scott, but they didn't call it. Evidently a little bit more liberal on that particular play. But I saw it last week. I guess maybe I don't exactly know what exactly holding is. 5.5 seconds to play. Up to the line will come Central. Fourth down and 10 yards to go. They'll go for it, obviously not wanting to give the ball back to Oak Ridge. Woodward under center from the 49. He'll hand it off on the draw to Gaston once again, and Gaston is going to be tackled at the 47-yard line as the first half comes to a close. Overall, Scott, you look at the scoreboard, it reads 24-0 Oak Ridge. Could have been a lot worse for the Central Bobcats. Could have been better for them.
So late after I got home from work, you call early in the morning.
He'll be receiving the second half kickoff to do the honors. It appears to be either a number 84 or number 42 to do the honors. I believe it's going to be number 42, Tim Frisco, 5'8", 160-pounder. I think that is the case. He's standing there. Back to receive the kick is Sean Bohannon, back at the 5-yard line. Nathan Forbes, our engineer, back at the station. We'll have a highlight show at the conclusion of our broadcast. We'll also have the final scores of the other ball games. 24-0 Oak Ridge. The ball is on the tee. We're about to have the second half kickoff of this non-regional game from Central High School. Getting ready for the kick. It looks like Frisco will do the honors. His kick is high, not very long. Sean will field it at the 10. Sean Bohannon behind the wedge, 15, 20, 25, 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 50-yard line. Sean Bohannon will take it the full length of the field. Sean Bohannon, 15, 10, touchdown Oak Ridge. Sean Bohannon takes that kick about 90 yards for an Oak Ridge touchdown. He got behind the wedge. Nobody was going to slow him down. He scores again, and Oak Ridge leads it 30-0.
Yeah, it's so funny. Sean Bohannon gets the ball and just stops and just does nothing for about a half a second to let the wedge form. He just explodes just right on. He gets about the 50-yard line, and the guy who's actually their safety man, who's the only would have been the only person that would have could have tackled him. He just blows by me. It's not even a contest. I mean, this, you know, he had such a momentum going. No way in the world somebody was going to get him.
And the Wildcats will attempt the extra point. 30-0 our score, 11:44 to play. Here's the kick by Oak Ridge, the hole by Lucia, the kick by Granger is good, and Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 31-0, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. Here at Central High School, Oak Ridge on top of the Bobcats, 31-0, 11:44 to play in the third quarter. And here's the kick by Granger. Hits it high and long. It's going to be a touchback. Well into the end zone. Central first down, 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line. And the kick returner looked like he pulled a muscle as he tried to make the catch in the end zone. And you don't see that very often unless he wants to get out of this one.
Well, right when he was catching it, he knew he was in the end zone, wasn't going to be able to return it. It looks like he either twisted an ankle or a knee or maybe pulled a hamstring or something, but he's in some pain back there, David.
I was checking the records just a moment ago, and we're a long ways from this, but the most points ever scored, obviously, against the Central Bobcats by an Oak Ridge team was the 42 points scored in the 1991 playoff ball game. That record very easily obtainable here as we have not played but 16 seconds of the third quarter, and it's 31-0 Oak Ridge. The pitch will go to their tailback. There's a big hole for him. He crossed the 20 to the 25, up to the 30 to the 33-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats have put some major numbers on the board this season. They started this season with 49 points against Ray County, 36 more points against Farragut. Last week, 42 against Gallatin, and already 31 tonight.
Very impressive. This offense, you know, they have so many different weapons. Another big key, I mean, through 4 games, they've only punted 3 times.
Wildcats watching Central pick up a first down to the 33. The pitch will go to Gaston once again. He's hit and drop. What a great play. Number 11, Brad Redmond, came in there. Great fundamental tackle. -4 on the play.
Unbelievable. He saw that they ran the sweep to his size. He just accelerated, moved up the field. The running back tried to dodge him, tried to make a little move, and no way that guy was going to get by Brad Redmond. Wonderful tackle for -4 yards.
31-0 Oak Ridge, 10:52 to play in the third quarter. The line of scrimmage now the 29-yard line. Second down, 14 yards to go. Once again, from the eye, they'll send 2 receivers here to the near side. 4-man front for the Wildcats. Woodard, quarterback, hands it off. Oh, another big stick right at the 30-yard line. The Wildcats all over him. The stop is made by Oak Ridge. Looked like Jared Carell along with Tommy Johnston and a couple of other Wildcats. And it'll be third down and about 13. Woodard and his Central offense moving from right to left here in the third quarter. What an outstanding return by Sean Bohannon. I can't get it out of my mind. Just an unbelievable play.
It really was, David.
Up to the line they'll come. Third down, 13 from the eye. Woodard will drop back to pass. Look, now will run. Dumps it. Pass is incomplete. Fourth down facing Central, and the Bobcats will be forced to punt. We're going to see, as we have seen in the first 3 ball games, a lot of players get into this game tonight. It's 31-0 Oak Ridge.
You know, really, and the offense is kind of sputtered just a little bit. You know, they had, you know, of course, the big kickoff return. It hasn't been really crisp, but although, you know, they're piling up, you know, big, huge numbers in passing and rushing. So, you know, it's even when they're off, they're really playing well right now.
Well, the block punt set up a short drive, which helped him a great deal. As here's the punt once again. Here comes Younger. Lee Younger almost got it. He got it away, though. Fair catch is asked for and made. Signaled for by Mike Gibson. It rolls inside the 20-yard line to the 19. Lee Younger almost got another block punt for the Wildcats. He's been very close a couple of times. Bill Pendergrass already has one. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge, and Chad Lucier will come back out at quarterback for the Wildcats.
It almost looked like Younger almost overdid it. Looks like instead of getting the angle where the ball's going to be when he dove, it looks like he almost overdid it, and the ball kind of went underneath his outstretched arms. But outstanding. You know, he almost got one. They almost got 2 or 3 before also.
31-0 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats. Lucier under center. Will hand it off to Bohannon. Bohannon at the 20, 25, 30 to the 35 to the 40, 50-yard line. Sean Bohannon scores again. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Sean Bohannon takes it 80 yards for yet another Oak Ridge touchdown. 81 yards officially on the score. Sean Bohannon, a man among boys. 9:29 to play, and Oak Ridge is all over him, 37-0.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny. Right before he got the ball, you know, Mark Haste over here said, "You think Sean Bohannon's rested?" Well, obviously that answers that question. That puts Sean Bohannon at exactly 200 yards, and we still got 9 minutes, 29 seconds to left to play in the third quarter.
The Wildcats will attempt the extra point. Sean Bohannon, what a first couple of minutes of this half. Here's the kick, it's up. The kick is good by Granger Marler. And Oak Ridge leads it 37-0, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. Sean Bohannon with an even 200 yards in the ball game. Here's the kickoff by Oak Ridge. Granger hits it well again. Fielded by Hill at the 5, 10, 15, 20. They tackle it at the 23-yard line. And that's where the Central Bobcats will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. This is a very young Central team, but Sean Bohannon is proving his worth to the Wildcats. He is the most, I'm going to say this, he is the most outstanding offensive player I've ever seen at Oak Ridge High School.
Absolutely. You know, every time he gets the ball, obviously, you know, he can go all the way. He's got tremendous speed. He's got the power. I mean, he's so much fun to watch, and you know, 100 yards to him is a subpar game. It's got to be, you know, it's the 150, 180, 200 yards. 38-0 Oak Ridge. From the 23, Woodard hands it off. There's a big stick right at the line of scrimmage. Caleb Gaston hit once again. Jameel Dye there for the stop, along with, let's see, can't quite see that number, Tommy Johnston, along with the Wildcats' Chris Hood, who's having a pretty good ball game tonight, substituting for Rocky Remine. He really is. We've called his name out several times tonight. Rocky Remine, I believe, will probably be ready to go next week against Kingsport. I believe he's got an ankle problem, but should be dressed up and ready to go. Second
down, 11 yards to go from the 22-yard line. It's 38-0 Oak Ridge. I formation, 2 receivers here to the near side. Jonathan Woodward under center. Will hand it to his fullback. Oh, there's another big lick by the Wildcats right at the line of scrimmage. Another big stick by Oak Ridge. And once again, it's Chris Hood who makes the stop for the Wildcats. Third down, 12 yards to go. And the defensive unit rising to the occasion now at the 22-yard line. It'll be third down, 12. 8 minutes, 19 seconds to play in the third quarter. Big turnout of fans here tonight, Scott.
Huge crowd, David. I was going to ask you, now you're Coach Gaddis. You're up 38 points. Do you let Bohannon back in?
Sean Bohannon will not see the field, in my opinion, unless for a kickoff return, maybe. Here comes the pass play. Pass is complete. Short of a first down at the 33-yard line. He's short by about a yard. It'll be fourth down and a yard to go.
Terry Hill.
Hill made the reception. They put him down at the 32-yard line. They needed to get to the 33.5-yard line. Joe Gaddis on the stop for Oak Ridge. Third down, about 2. 7:39 to play, third quarter, 38-0. And, you know, Central is going to go for it here, I think.
I would say that they may try to draw Oak Ridge off sides. I don't see any way in the world they'll try to go for it right here, David.
No way in the world, because Oak Ridge will have great field position. Woodard under center, 2 receivers to the near side. Everybody on the line, trying to draw Oak Ridge off sides. He'll call a timeout. 4th down and 2, and now they'll send the punt unit onto the field. It's 38-0 Oak Ridge, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
That was, I say block one.
Jason Altman.
You're dead.
Back here at Central, here's the punt by Central, returned by Jason Altman to the 43-yard line. That's where Oak Ridge will take over. 1st down and 10 yards to go. And onto the field will come the Wildcats, and Kiki Houston will replace Sean Bohannon at tailback. So Sean's night's work is done. 12 carries, 200 yards, and a 95-yard kickoff return, a 90-yard kickoff return. I've forgotten, I have the score sheet right in front of me, but a big night's work for Sean Bohannon. 3 more touchdowns, giving him 11 on the season. Receivers left and right for Chad Lucier. Houston the tailback, the fullback I believe is still Sisk. Lucier will hand it off to Houston. Kiki Houston tries to get outside, and he's buried at the 45-yard line. Gain of only a yard, and a flag goes down on the play.
That's a flag. I would think it'd probably be a face mask because it was, the flag was thrown right almost in the face of the ball carrier, Kiki Houston. They're talking, preliminary report is a clip. Another penalty for Oak Ridge.
Josh Young, John Dickens still in the game for the Wildcats, as is the first team center, Chris Black. And another penalty indeed against Oak Ridge. Just think what the score might have been if the Wildcats hadn't been penalized so much. It's already 38-0, 6:57 to play in the 3rd quarter. I don't know if Matt McMahon's still awake, but he can probably go on to bed now, because I think this game is out of doubt. 30-yard line, 1st down, and about 25 yards to go after the clipping penalty. From the eye will come the Wildcats. Lucier under center. Receivers left and right, including Darian Milton and Jason Altman. Lucier will pass. Pass is incomplete. Hit hard by one of the Central Bobcats. Lucier goes down. It was intended for Jason Altman. It'll be 2nd down, 25 yards to go.
Yeah, it's also good, David, that Kiki Houston is back there. You know, of course, we've seen him play, and what an outstanding ball player he is. But I do believe that this may be the first time that he has been able to play with the first-team offense. You know, he's got the first-team line and everybody else with Stan Sisk back there as well.
Up to the line will come the Wildcats. Altman and Darian Milton to the far left. Jason McCadley, who has an 87-yard touchdown reception already in the ballgame, here to the near side. It's going to go to Jason. The pass is overthrown. Flags are down on the play. Flag went down immediately in the Oak Ridge backfield. Oak Ridge is signaling that it's going to go against Central this time. It's going to be a personal foul against the Bobcats, and that should get a good round of applause from the Oak Ridge fans. Let me go back to something I said a moment ago, and I want to talk about this while the penalty has stepped off. Sean Bohannon, I think, now is the greatest offensive player I've ever seen at Oak Ridge High School. I think Sean Summers was the greatest offensive player until I saw Sean Bohannon. I still say Sean Summers, though, is the overall best player I've seen offensive and defensive.
I'd like to have either one of them on my team, without a doubt. You know, Sean Summers did so many different things. You know, he played the whole game on defense, played all the specialty teams. He was the A team. Sean Bohannon is an offensive weapon. I think they're different players, but both at the same time they're just outstanding athletes. Sean Bohannon, I think Sean Bohannon's got better speed than Sean Summers did. I think Sean Summers, it was maybe a little bit tougher, maybe got a little bit tougher yardage up the middle, but both of them, I tell you what, can you imagine having both of those in your backfield?
What an outstanding, hey, why don't we bring back Sean Williams as well? We'll run the wishbone with all 3 of them.
Oh, that'd be great. Put either Dean Nichols or Doug Martin as your quarterback, and
Scott Munger back there.
I don't know. That's one of the things I was just glad that I played when I did. I would be. There's no way in the world I could play these days.
Our single running back is the fullback Stan Sisk. Lucier will pass, complete to Darian Milton, gets a block from Altman, cuts outside 50 to the 40-yard line. Darian's going to score, I think, down the sideline 20, 15, 10. Darian Milton, but a flag is down at the 40-yard line. Darian Milton takes it 55 yards, but will it count? That yellow flag is down on the field. I think it's going to go against Oak Ridge. Darian is an outstanding athlete. The Wildcats are going to be penalized again. Another clip. The Oak Ridge fans booing once again. The Knoxville officials once again keeping this one as close as it possibly can be. And I feel sorry for Darian Milton because that was a great run after the catch by Darian.
You know, really, this is the first time we got to see him really catch the ball in some open field. He caught the ball, just turned the ball up field. Guy had him by the leg. He kind of shrugged that off and just exploded down the sideline. There was actually two people with the angle on him, and he just outran them both. You know, since we've been, we had a blocking below the waist penalty, and then another player. I don't know. He may even be ejected. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But Stan Sis is coming out. I don't know if he's ejected or if Coach Gaddis is just bringing them out.
The Oak Ridge fans continuing to boo and shake their hands here at these calls. We're well over 100 yards in penalties, stepping the penalty back into Oak Ridge territory, all the way inside the 40-yard line. You remember we had terrible officiating at Bearden last year. Almost cost us the ball game. Luckily, we're so in front of this, on top of this one, 38-0. 6:20 to play. You're listening to AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision, Channel 12. Double foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's 130 yards in penalties already, and that's getting close to a record. I think the record is 155, so we're getting close to yet another record here. Oak Ridge needs to get to the 45-yard line for a first.
It wasn't first down, though, David.
Yeah, it's true. First down and 10, single running back. Lucier will pass once again. Dumps it over to McCadley. McCadley in the middle of the field. Plenty of open field. 35 to the 40 to the 50-yard line. McCadley down to the 45-yard line. He picks up a first down on the run. No flags on the play. Chad Lucier is a little bit hobbled, but Oak Ridge picks up a first down. Lucier's coming out. Mike Ray heading on into the game.
That was you talking about a different looking play. Chad Lucier rolls out to the right and couldn't find anybody, and all of a sudden he saw McCadley and just kind of dumped it over a defensive guy's head. Didn't throw the ball about 3 yards. McCadley gets the ball and just turns it up the field, just sprints, is tackled and picks up a unique first down.
The record is indeed 155 yards in penalties versus Bryan Station back in 1976. Mike Ray to Kiki Houston. Houston at the 40. Houston to the outside. He's going to score, I think. Houston 20, 15-yard line, 10, 5. Houston to the 3-yard line. First down, goal to go. Kiki Houston, I thought, was going to take it the full length of the field for the score. He's inside the 5. It'll be first down, goal to go for the Wildcats.
Absolutely, I tell you, David, he is so exciting. He's so quick and makes such good moves. You know, he just run a simple sweep. He makes a couple cuts, and all of a sudden he's on the sideline. Another player had an angle on him, and actually almost kind of stopped and really kind of got tangled up. Not necessarily got tackled, just kind of tangled up on his own feet. 41 yards, first and goal from the 3-yard line.
38-0. Oak Ridge on top, 5:28 to play in the third quarter. If the Wildcats score a touchdown here, it will be the most points ever scored by an Oak Ridge team against a Central Bobcat team. Mike Gibson is the quarterback for the Wildcats. From the eye, Houston the tailback. The handoff goes to the fullback. That's Stan Sisk. He's tackled. That's actually Crowley. Not Sean Crowley, it's Travis Crowley. He brings the ball to the 2-yard line where it'll be second down and goal to go. The Wildcats have used Chad Lucier, Mike Ray, and Mike Gibson at quarterback. They lead it 38-0. 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Joe Gaddis, the head coach of the Wildcats, sends the play in to Mike Gibson. Up to the line will come the Wildcats. First man to the line is the center, Chris Black, still in the ball game. Up to the line they'll come. Gibson under center, Stan Sisk and Kiki Houston in the backfield. From the 3-yard line, second down and goal. Here's Gibson rolling right to Houston. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Kiki Houston takes it in, and Oak Ridge has scored more points tonight against the Central Bobcats than they have done in the 34 previous meetings with the Central Bobcats. The previous record was the 42 points scored against Central in the 1991 playoff game. They're now up to 44 points, 44-0, 4.5 minutes to play, and it'll be Oak Ridge to attempt the extra point. It'll be the sophomore, Daniel Wetzel. Chad Lucier to hold, high snap, here's the hold, here's the kick by Wetzel, good. 45-0 Oak Ridge, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
sticking one through there. That makes it 45 for Oak Ridge. Nothing for the Bobcats.
Nathan Forbes back here at Central. It's 45 to nothing. Mark's going to have to, for the first time in a while, bring out a second score sheet, I think. We're already down to 45 to nothing. Here's the kick. Kick on its way. Fielded by a new Bobcat at the 3, 5, 10, 15. Crunch! He's tackled hard at the 11-yard line. Gary Alexander, Lee Younger down there along with J.J. Williams and company. And it'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Central Bobcats.
Well, the receiver that time, David, actually, it looked like he lost it, didn't catch it. I had to squat down to get it, fumbled around. By the time he got the ball, he got to take 4 or 5 yards and was just crunched. Lee Younger, right, just pounding him.
Up to the line will come the Central Bobcats. Let's see what they can do here. They'll send 2 receivers here to the near side. It'll be Terry Hill, Justin Fine. We have a totally different defense in there. Quarterback hands it off. The ball carrier is Gaston, gets around the end at the 15. Down the sideline, tackled at around the 25-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Central Bobcats. Clock is stopped now, 4:16 to play, third quarter, 45 to nothing. I mentioned that the previous scoring record against Central was 42 points, 42 to 41. Scott, were you at that ball game?
I was not at that ball game. Really? I had actually my little boy who had just been born and could not make it up here when we still lived in Chattanooga, so I did not make it to that game.
You missed.
I heard it was a pretty good game, though.
One of the most exciting games I've ever seen. In fact, the most exciting high school football game right on this field. Gaston gets the call and the carry. Tyler Harris tackles him at the 30, and they're getting some pretty big holes opening up now against the younger group of Wildcats. And here's another injured Central Bobcat. 45 to nothing Oak Ridge, and they look winded back there. There's a lot of people limping on this one. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Second down and about 3 yards to go for the Central Bobcats. They have the ball at the Central 30-yard line. Oak Ridge on top, 45 to nothing here in the third quarter. 3:53 and counting. I formation, Woodard under center, will pitch to Gaston, who's hit the backfield and will be dropped for a big loss. Jim Watson there for the stop, 6'3", 200-pounder. Another big loss for the Bobcats, and Watson all over him that time.
Yeah, he played quite a bit last week. You know, he does such a good job. He's got those long arms. He's 6'3", he's listed at 6'3", but he really looks and plays a whole lot bigger than that. He's almost like maybe a little bit a bigger version maybe of the Mad Stork.
Chris Atkinson coming into the game now for the Wildcats. Out of the contest for Oak Ridge will come number 65, Travis Whitson. Third down, a long 5 to go for a first. We'll even really call it 6 yards. 2 receivers to the right. Woodard facing a 4-man front. Will drop back to pass, feeling heavy pressure, batted down. Nice play by Oak Ridge's Shane Wiseman. He got those big paws up and he batted that pass down. It's 4th and 6.
Down by Shane Wiseman.
Clock is stopped, 2:59 to play, third quarter, 45 to nothing. Oak Ridge on top. And Central, this is a very young Central team. They've got some talent out there, but by far this is probably the weakest Central team we've seen in some time.
It really is, you know, and that you know, we were talking about during one of the breaks, you know, what I guess next week, the next 2 weeks, or what we have in store. Of course, Kingsport, Dobbins, Bennett, and then Bearden, which I think is going to be our first 2 real big tests.
They'll punt once again. Jason Altman standing back at the 40-yard line. Everybody on the line. They're going to fake it. They're going to get a first down and more as the tackle is finally going to be made hard by Joe Gaddis. And Scott?
Well, actually, it looks like there was 2 penalties. We had a face mask. I think there's no doubt in my mind that we had a face mask that wasn't called. And then it looked like a late hit. The officiating I'm not too happy with. I don't think Coach Gaddis is still on the field. I don't think he is either.
So it'll be Central first down, 10 yards to go at the 47-yard line. Coach Gaddis continuing to work the officials. The Wildcats get players in and off the field. The Wildcats don't have the right personnel.
We only have 8 people out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Full officiating crew. First down, 10 yards to go for Central. Woodard, the quarterback, Jonathan Woodard, he's gone the entire way. Will pitch to his tailback, Gaston, who's hit after a gain of about a yard or 2. Wildcats make the stop. Atkinson around the play, along with Joey Mingy, who has been playing some outstanding ball at the junior varsity level, and it's a gain of only a yard. Second down and 9. 2:19 to play in the third quarter. 45-0. Oak Ridge on top.
Yeah, I guess getting back to that Bearden, I guess that will be Coach Young's first game at Blankenship Field. Is that correct?
Right. We've played them twice, once in the playoffs and once in the regular season last year, but both games were played at Bearden. So this will be his first trip to Blankenship Field as a head coach since his final 1987 season. Here's the draw play. Nothing. Ball carrier blasted hard. That's Anthony Billingsley, tackled by Casey Jones. It'll be third down and about 9 yards to go. Ball's at the 48-yard line. Minute 39 to play, third quarter. 200-yard rushing performance tonight for Sean Bohannon. 3 touchdowns. He had a 90-yard kickoff return. His night's work is over, as are most of the other starters. Kiki Houston has his 4th touchdown of the year. He has 4 touchdowns in all 4 games. Woodard having some confusion, having to give the play to his fullback for 2 or 3 different times. He'll roll back to pass. Across the way, the pass is incomplete. Should have been caught. Justin Fine, the intended receiver, and that time Justin just didn't make the reception. Charlie Graham, Kiki Houston, and the Wildcats Chanson Hall defending. Be 4th down and 9 once again. Let's see if they go for it, fake the punt the ball away. Looks like the punt unit's coming onto the field. Clock is stopped now, 1:08 to play, third quarter. 45-0 the score. The second half began with a bang. A 90-yard kickoff return by Sean Bohannon. Took 16 seconds. Sean's 90s are slowing down. 16 seconds to go the full length. I guess because he waited about 4 seconds for the wedge to get ready, and he busted it down the field. And here comes the kick team once again for Central. They faked it the last time. They'll punt this time. Kick is away. Nice kick. Tyler Harris will let it bounce at the about the 13-yard line. That's where Oak Ridge will take over, 1st and 10. Chad Lucer's going to come out again at quarterback. Mike Ray saw a lot of action in the first half, and Chad's going to come out for the Wildcats. The tailback, I would assume, will be Kiki Houston. See Darian Milton out on the field as a receiver. Probably a new fullback. Stan was in there the last time, Stan Sisk. I would be surprised if it's not either Crowley or Barton Bailey out there. It'll be from the 13-yard line, 1st and 10. 57 seconds to play, third quarter. It's 45-0 the score. Crowley, the fullback. Travis Crowley. Lucier, the quarterback. 2 receivers here to the near side. The pitch will go to Houston. Houston finds a little hole, moves the ball across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Kiki brings the ball forward for a gain of, I guess, 3 or 4 yards. It'll bring up second down and 5, actually, as Houston gets 5. Tyler Harris in the ballgame now, brings in the play from Coach Joe Gaddis. 39 seconds and counting in the third quarter. Jason McCadley is going to check out of the game. He has an 87-yard touchdown reception to his credit tonight. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge, single running back. Up to the line, actually from the eye. Handoff will go on the reverse. Here's Darian Milton. Darian at the 20 to the 21-yard line. I thought it was going to go a little farther than it did. I think that should be the final play of the third quarter. Our score going into the 4th and final quarter here at Central. It's Oak Ridge 45-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
The third period.
Is the fullback Crowley. Pass complete to Darian Milton. Darian with a first down at the 25. Fumbles the ball, picks it right back up, continues to run. And he has the first down. Darian's the luckiest guy in this stadium right now because he fumbled the ball. It just sat there for a while. He picked it up and started running again.
I can't believe that he didn't just try to just hop on it. Instead, he picks it up and then runs backwards, but he ends up getting the first down. That was an adventuresome first down reception.
First down, 10 yards to go from the 23-yard line. Chad Lucier still in at quarterback. 45-0. Oak Ridge on top of the Bobcats. As Scott mentioned, next week we'll be in Kingsport as the Wildcats take on the Dobbins-Bennett Indians. I formation, Oak Ridge. Houston the tailback. Wide receiver Gary Alexander here to the near side. A single man to the far right. The pitch will go to Houston. Houston trips and falls. Might have been tripped up by number 43, Brad Gray. Be no gain on the play. Might have even lost a yard or so. 11:05 to play. This is a very young Central team, as we were speaking during the break. A lot of sophomores. The quarterback's a freshman. They're just going to take their lumps this year, it looks like.
Absolutely, David. I'll spit that out in a minute. But, you know, we look down every time you call somebody's name, you look at their what year they are, and they're either a sophomore or junior, or, you know, even the freshmen. Very, very few seniors have seen a lot of playing time tonight.
Receivers left and right from the eye. Lucier from the 21-yard line will hand it to the fullback. That's Crowley, 30, 35, 40. Crowley to the 45, all the way down to the 47-yard line. Travis Crowley, an outstanding run from the fullback position. The Wildcats keep putting new players in, and they haven't missed a beat yet.
Absolutely not. Travis Crowley just goes straight up the gut on the trap. You know, was virtually untouched until he got tackled 25 yards later. First down and 10. Oak Ridge has got the ball on their own 47.5-yard line.
You're listening to the game live on AM 1290 WATO and Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12 tonight. We'll have the highlights and scores of other ball games immediately following the broadcast. Single running back. Lucier on the reverse to Darian Milton. Darian at the 50, Darian at the 45, Darian at the 40, Darian all the way down to the 35-yard line of Central. First down, 10 yards to go. Darian Milton carries for yet another Oak Ridge first down. Wildcats have the ball for another first down at the 36, and if you're Central, Coach Helton across the way, not much you can do. The Wildcats out-manning the Central Bobcats here tonight, but I think it's going to be a totally different story next week as we travel to Kingsport to take on a Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett team that's struggling with obviously a better Jefferson County team than anticipated. They played Riverdale pretty tough last week, but Oak Ridge will have their hands full next week at Kingsport. I remember that 79 game that you played in. Here's Crowley again. Crowley 30, 25, 20, down to the 18-yard line. Another first down. The 1979 Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett ball game. You remember that one well.
I certainly do. I remember we beat them every single way that you could, except for on the scoreboard, but of course that's what counts. The only loss that we had my last 2 years as a starter, you know, but actually it did us a world of good because I don't think we would have won the state championship if we were not have lost to Kingsport that year. Following
that loss, Oak Ridge rattled off 29 consecutive wins, and you had a big part in that in the winning state championships in 79 and 80. First and 10 Oak Ridge. Here's the Lucier rolling to his right, wanting to pass. There's the man, here's the pass. Oh, it's incomplete. Could have been intercepted. I'm not too sure who was intended for. It might have been Gary Alexander down there. It'll be incomplete, second down and 10. 8:45 to play in the game. 45-0 Oak Ridge on top. The Wildcats trying to go 4-0, and it looks like they are there. Central will fall to 2-2 on the year. The Wildcats have the ball at the 18-yard line of the Bobcats, leading 45-0. Up to the line they'll come. Gary Alexander to the right, Darian Milton here to the left. Houston the tailback, Crowley the fullback. Chad Lucier under center. Once again it goes to Crowley. Crowley across the 15, the pile moving forward to 11. What a powerful back Travis Crowley is, and he picks up more positive yardage, 5 on the play in the ball game. Crowley now with a total of 50 yards. And the ball's moved to the 13-yard line, third down at about 5. Here comes Bill Pendergrass in the ball game. I think he'll take over perhaps as a center for the Wildcats. I see 65, Travis Whitson still in the ball game. Up to the line will come the Wildcats. Lucier is the quarterback from the eye. Third down, 5 yards to go. And Lucier will pitch to Kiki Houston to the outside. He tries to cut. Can go no place. He's tackled at the 16-yard line. It'll be fourth down facing the Wildcats. 7:55 and counting. 45-0 Oak Ridge on top. Houston has a touchdown to his credit tonight. He came on a 5-yard run. Sean Bohannon has 3 touchdowns.
9 to go.
2 on rushing plays, 1 on a kickoff return. 200 yards in the game. Fourth down and 9. The Wildcats obviously going for it. Tyler Harris lines up at tight end to the right, with 2 receivers here to the near side. The Wildcats moving from right to left here in the fourth quarter. 4th and 9. And here comes Lucier dropping back to pass. Now might run. Sutter steps his way forward to the 15-yard line, well short of a first down. It'll be Central taking over on downs. First down and 10 yards to go. And one of the Bobcats is down once again on the play. We have exactly 7:10 to play in the ball game, 45-0. And the injured Bobcat is okay. He stays in the game, and the defensive unit will come onto the field for Oak Ridge, including Barton Bailey, 5'11", 218-pounder. He'll be in there at linebacker. Also Charlie Graham, Kiki Houston, Chanson Hall, and Tim Miners in there to rush in. Other players, let's see, looks like Watson's in there. Looks like Joe Sterner's back in. I mentioned Charlie Graham in there as well for the Wildcats. Central, first down and 10. Let's see if they elect to substitute anytime in the near future. They probably don't want to get shut out. Woodard still in at quarterback. Handoff goes for nothing. Might have even been no gain on the play. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. Here comes J.J. Williams into the ball game. Joseph Bonner, who's been playing some excellent ball at the junior varsity level, he comes in for the Wildcats. Barton Bailey has the play from Bruce Lucia, the defensive coordinator and the man who handles the linebackers, and he sends the play into Barton. Gain of a yard, second down, 9 yards to go. 6:40 to play in the game. 45-0 Oak Ridge. Two receivers to the left. The Central driving from their 16-yard line. From the eye they'll come. Woodard at quarterback. Four-man front Oak Ridge. Here comes the quarterback rolling to his right, trying to turn the corner, trying to be tracked down, and he will be tracked down and slung down by Lee Younger at the 16-yard line. Woodard is dropped. It'll be no gain in the play. Third down and 9 yards to go. It might have even lost a yard. Third down and 10. Clock ticking down, 6:05 to play. They're going to give him a yard on the play. It'll be third down and 8 yards to go. Mark said it was a minus a yard, but they gave him a yard. It's getting late, Mark. It's 45-0. Give the poor kid his due here. From the 17-yard line up to line will come the Central Bobcats. Moving from left to right, they'll come up with the I formation again. Two receivers to the far left. Central getting very tired, you can tell. Woodard will pass, rolling once again to his left. Here's the pass down the field, incomplete. Fourth down, 9. This one was well overthrown. You can tell they still have the bulk of their starters in there. The Wildcats have been able to substitute quite freely, and these guys for Central are just dead tired.
Oh, they really are. You know, you look at the sideline, Oak Ridge has so many players out. They may only have maybe 20 people on the bench over there. Very, very thin over there. They've played, most of them have played both ways for the whole game. They're very tired, especially when, a bigger, stronger Oak Ridge football team. They were just, from the word go, were mismatched.
Tyler Harris back to receive the punt, standing back at the 50-yard line. To punt the ball away will be Jeremy Kerr. Tyler Harris back at the 50. Fourth down and 9. Fumbles the snap. It's going to be recovered by Oak Ridge right at the 6-yard line. The Wildcats will have it. First down, goal to go. Wildcats, Barton Bailey around it. Looked like number 78, Chris Atkinson down there as well. It'll be first and goal, Oak Ridge. The ball at the 6-yard line. Tough break for the Central Bobcats. See what Oak Ridge can do here. Mike Ray is coming back in at quarterback. Chanson Hall will be a receiver. Kiki Houston still in at tailback. The Wildcats, I'm surprised they really haven't brought in Matt Collins to play, obviously. Not his turn this particular ball game. I formation, Mike Ray from the 6-yard line. 45-0 Oak Ridge. We're in the fourth quarter. There's Travis Crowley at the 3-yard line. Tackled at that point. It'll be second down, goal to go for the Wildcats. 5:20 to play in the ball game. 45-0 Oak Ridge.
This is when you get in the huddle and you're just going, please, please, please call my play. Please call my play. I know I can score from here.
The Wildcats shuttling players in and out. Once again out of the game will come Joe Sterner. Mike Ray has the play from Coach Joe Gaddis, head coach of the Wildcats. Mike Stevens, Bruce Lucier, Jim Younger, Barry Saunders, Gary Terry, Mike Mullins, the assistant coaches for the Wildcats. Second down, goal to go. Mark's already calling for the score sheet. Mike Ray under center. Let's see if they give it right back to Crowley. No, it'll go to Houston. Houston trying for his second touchdown. He's got it. Around the end he goes. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Kiki Houston takes it in. His second touchdown of the game. His 5th touchdown of the season. And Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 51-0. 4:36 to play in the ball game.
Well, David, I guess you're happy now. I know I listened to your show this morning, and I believe you called the score as something around 50-0. Is that correct?
Exactly right. I thought they'd score 50, and I'm just glad that the delay of game call cost the Central Bobcats. They had the ball at the 5-yard line, or they might have taken it in for the score. 50 1-0. I also said we would annihilate them, and that's exactly what's happened. Daniel Wetzel to attempt the extra point. Ball's down. The kick is up by Wetzel. Looked like he missed it. It's no good. Off to the left side. 4:36 to play in the game.
It's not fun. No, it's not.
Back here at Central High School on AM 1290 WATO, Tennessee Cablevision Channel 12. Daniel Wetzel kicking off yet another time for Oak Ridge. Ball will roll to the goal line and go in for a touchback. This is David Clary, along with Scott Munger. Our statistician is Mark Case. We'll have his complete statistical wrap-up at the end of the ball game. We'll also have Coach Joe Gaddis up here to talk with us after the ball game. Nathan Forbes will have a highlight show, including scores of other ball games. The last time the Wildcats scored 50 points was back in 1993. The Wildcats scored 55 points the second game of the year against the Campbell County Cougars. So 1993, the last time the Wildcats over 50. They're up 51-0 in this one. 4:35 to play. Up to the line will come Central. From the eye they'll come. Two receivers here to the near side. Woodard hands it off on the reverse to number 11. Around the corner, he tries to turn. He's going to be blasted at the 20. No gain. Justin Weems on the carry, another freshman for the Central Bobcats. Central going with the youth movement, obviously. 51-0 Oak Ridge. Travis Whitson there for the stop for Oak Ridge. Kingsport, Dobbins, Bennett next week. 7:30 kickoff. We'll be on the air with our pregame coverage at 6 o'clock. The following week, finally, we'll get back home to Blankenship Field 2 weeks from tonight against Bearden.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun up there because, you know, they're going to be undefeated. They're going to have a big crowd there. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to play. Oak Ridge is going to come in hot. That's going to be a really fun game next week.
2nd down and 9 from the eye. Here's the run for really no gain at all. They'll gain nothing really. That's Billingsley again on the carry. That'll bring up 3rd down at about 8 yards to go. 51-0. Oak Ridge on top. If you just tuned in, the Wildcats started out a little slow. They got a field goal from Granger Marler with 4:53 to play in the first quarter. A lot of penalties in the early going. The Wildcats have been penalized over 100 yards in the game. In fact, Mark, 130, so it doesn't look like we're going to hit that record, which was 155. For penalty yards against Oak Ridge. Another timeout gun for Central. 3rd down, 8 yards to go from the 21-yard line. 3:20 to play. Back to pass. Feeling a little pressure. Here's the pass. Incomplete. 4th down, 8 yards to go. There's a man way back here deep, but he couldn't get the ball to him anyway. It was intended for number 24. And that was Calvin Mathis. He was back here, but I don't think there was any chance to getting the ball to him. Tyler Harris back to receive the punt.
This guy was about 70 yards down the field, David. He couldn't throw that if Hurricane was behind him.
I don't know. When we were down to Franklin County, I saw a kick go 63 yards that I never thought could be made.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's Jeff Hall, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. That win could have taken any past 70 yards. It'll be a punt once again for Central. 3:12 to play in the game. 51-0 Oak Ridge. And here's the snap, good one. Here's the punt, good one as well, a great one actually. Tyler will back up, field it at the 35, gives ground, now cuts inside 40 to the 45-yard line, hit hard by Central at the 45. The Oak Ridge fans wanted a late hit, but that's not a late hit. It'll be Oak Ridge's offense back on the field. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Let's see who comes out at quarterback. Once again, it's Mike Ray.
I guarantee you, David, if that was the first half, that would have been called probably a late hit. That was as bad as a late hit as what Central's done tonight, but wasn't too bad. But I think that would have been called if this had been the first half.
1st down, 10 from the 45. Let's see what Oak Ridge can do. Let's see if they can get another score on the board. The Wildcats will send receivers here. A new guy coming into the game as a wide receiver. Check that number here in a second. The call goes to Crowley. I think, no, that might be Barton Bailey, perhaps, or maybe even Eric Inger. The call is by the new fullback, Barton Bailey. He picks up another 1st down, all the way down to the 44-yard line. Barton had a great preseason and has earned himself some starting time. The way Travis Crowley has been playing, he's been bumped from 2nd team down to 3rd team, and as the Wildcats get number 89, Mark Foster, into the ball game as a wide receiver. Also in for Oak Ridge, looks like number 32. That's Eric Lazat. Up to the line they'll come. The Wildcats getting in position here. From the eye, Barton Bailey and Houston, the tailback. 1st and 10 at the Central 44. The pitch will go to Houston. Houston at the 40. Houston at the 35. Houston all the way down to the 33. 2:10 to play in the game. 51-0 the score. A lot of highlights. Nathan will probably be still doing his show this time tomorrow.
He might very easily. You know, highlights after highlights. It's so good to see all these different players getting to touch the ball. Barton Bailey comes in, believes for his first carry of the year, takes it, 11, 12 yards right up the gut. It's great to see a lot of players play, and that can only help you during the rest of the year.
Justin Dunaway wide to the right side, along with another Wildcat. Mike Ray under center, 2nd down and a yard to go. Bailey and Houston. The pitch will go to Houston. Kiki, 30. Outside he goes to the 25-yard line. Another 1st down for the Wildcats, and the clock continues to tick even though it is a 1st down run. We're down to 1:27 to play. If this was a close ball game, might concern me, but they can keep the clock going. Now they do stop it at 1:23, and the Wildcats have it at the 25-yard line of Central. 51-0 Oak Ridge on top. And Scott, you're getting a little bloodthirsty over there.
Let's take it in and score one more time.
From the 25-yard line up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Receivers left and right. Barton Bailey and Kiki Houston. Mike Ray. Let's check the offensive line for me if you would. The fullback Bailey gets the call. Let's try to check some of those numbers on the line for Oak Ridge. We're down to 54 seconds to play. We always mention the skill guys, but we sometimes don't get the new guys in there. Chris Atkinson is still in there on the line, and along with Greg Woofter, he comes into the ball game. 2nd down and 9. We're down to 38 seconds to play. Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Bill Pendergrass is in the game on the offensive side of the ball. Receivers left and right. Looks like Dunaway here to the near side. Mike Ray, 2nd and 9 from the eye, and he'll hand it off to Barton Bailey. Bailey inside the 20. Down to the 19-yard line. 18 seconds, and that'll probably be the final play of the ball game. The Wildcats have knocked off his entire coaching staff. The Wildcats have played an outstanding 4 ball games. I guess the only negative would have to be the penalty yards, but when you score